Hey, my beautiful peeps, locking down truth with Marci Lock. I'm about to hit the hotel gym. And this is something that had kind of come up and I wanted to share with you guys because it's interesting. Obviously, even this morning as I'm coming to the gym, of course, then people are like, oh, you look like you're headed for a workout. Wow, that's really good. It's really good that you're actually doing something. And this is what was interesting. So yesterday when I got to the vent, right around lunchtime after getting my boys settled in what they were doing for the teenage stuff. And I get, they had a catered lunch. And of course, lunch is, usually there's a lot of shit. And usually you can always find and create options. So there's just a big thing of lettuce. And so I created a lettuce, I created, threw chicken on, and I have this big ass huge salad. And I walk into the vent room and there's all these tables and there's people sitting. There's these two ladies sitting there. I'm like, hey, can I sit down? And instantly, so there's two ladies, one lady, and they're sharing a plate of food. And the lady looks up at me and instantly I felt a massive energy, like, oh my gosh, because she's like, oh, looks up like, oh yeah, oh my, oh you have some, oh my gosh, you have some guns, you're pretty buff, you're quite fit. And I was like, thank you, yes I am fit. And I sit down with my big plate of salad, and this is just what's interesting about us creating misery is because we say we want something but we do something different. And so I could feel this massive energy resistance, and she's like, are you a bodybuilder? And I'm like, no, but actually living aligned to a rock embodied health and living where your body is a tool to be able to utilize for your life experience is definitely a part of what I do. I believe every aspect of your life gets to be awesome, and if it's not, then there's something out of alignment internally. And so I said, yes, it's definitely a part of what I do, but no, that's not my main focus. And some other lady sits down right next to me and starts instantly talking to me, and we're in, deep stuff comes up when you get into conversation with me. And I could just tell this lady was like watching the whole time and observing, but just her energy was like, so just a couple things where they're sharing a plate of food. What's on the plate is most likely, I think it was like pasta, potato salad, etc. Big ass piece of cake in front of them, sharing a plate of food, and there was this resistance with her eating with me in her space. And I'm having this amazing conversation with this lady next to me. My phone just froze to remind me to write a handwritten card. That's part of my morning focus. So I can just tell she's like listening, like she wants to understand and she wants to have the same kind of peace with her body, and yet there's this massive resistance of energy towards me or what's happening, and something going on with her food. Like it's like she kept like looking at her food, and so I get done talking to this lady and I look up for a second and she looks at me and she goes, oh, you know what? If you're what you eat, and she digs into her piece of chocolate cake and she goes, I'm rich and creamy. And I was like, awesome, good for you. And this is the interesting thing is I don't give a fuck what you eat. I don't give a fuck what your experience is with food. It's none of my business. My only business is what I'm doing for me. And that's why I also don't give a fuck about what other people think about me. Because, it's, again, like it's none of my business what you think of me either. It's my business what I think of myself and what I create for myself. But notice so what's interesting is sharing a plate of food to try to eat less, but yet what's on it, what you're putting in your body. So I noticed obviously right away a validation pattern, which is like, well, she had said something about, well, I would love that stuff, or I would love to be that body, but blah, 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 blah. So we look at how, you say you want one thing, but your results and your behaviors reflect something different. And when we have this energy of so whatever, this is what I want you to hear, whatever you're resisting, and rejecting, so she was like had massive energy rejecting with me, like having a fit strong body, or so it's like trying to prove or validate, well I'm gonna, it's like waiting to dive into a chocolate cake, maybe thinking that I would judge it in some way, to be like, and having a validation, well so it's almost like we sabotage or we speak or deprecate ourselves in person to be able to be able to prove it to other people I'm not even trying. She's like, well, I'm gonna dive into the chocolate cake and prove to you I'm doing it on purpose, I'm rich and creamy. Awesome for you. So just considering and looking at whatever those patterns and behaviors are they going to give you the result that you want? So when I help people even break down, because again, one piece of what I do is associations with food, your patterns, all these connections, to internally allow yourself to like where food is not a fight ever. Like I'm never sacrificing or settling or never giving up on food. It's literally always easy and effortless. I only want to feed my body the stuff that makes me feel good and awesome because I'm worthy of that, and because then I feel good and awesome. So there's no fight or struggle with it. But when you break down the associations and the things to it, so yes, when I'm working with my peeps on breaking down those associations and understandings to things, it's like when we get clear with that, all of a sudden it disappears. There's no fight with it. There's no struggle with it. So, but when whatever you resist or reject, until you clear that, that's always going to be there for you and showing up for you. So just even finding a surface behavior like, oh, I'm just going to eat less. I'm going to have like share a plate of food and eat less or not do this. That doesn't ever get you to the result because you're still fighting something. So just tune into that and look at whatever I always tell my peeps, if you made it so simple as if the waiter came up to you and said, do you want health or disease tonight? Sickness or disease or health? Which one would you choose? Well, whatever you're picking, is that going to give you the result that you want? Because it's not really about the taste, because there's a million things that taste good that are healthy. So it's about the associations and the connections to it. So just consider that look at, is what you're picking in anything that you're doing, your marketing, your business stuff, your friendships, your relationships, is what you're choosing, is that going to give you the result that you want? Always, 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 always shows you what you're committed to. So I'm going to rock out my workout now. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life. Lock it down.